Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. We'll now proceed under the 5-minute rule with questions. I anticipate we'll have 2 rounds of questions today. Now recognize myself for 5 minutes. I'm going to take a moment to address some of the comments of the ranking member. You know, the chairman of this committee, this is not the January 6th committee. This is not the weaponization committee. This is about compliance. And as much as we want to have cooperation from the witnesses, compliance is what we're after. So at the end of the day, we want to see the documents. Now, as to the allegations made by the ranking member, the chairman, Mr. Jordan, never said that he wouldn't testify before the January 6th commission. I noted that you put up a letter. The letter actually was in response to a letter from Chairman Jordan about testifying. He said this multiple times in interviews. And the January 6th committee stopped negotiating with Mr. Jordan about potential testimony. Every time the January 6th committee asked Mr. Jordan to testify, he responded. December 22nd, he responded January 9th. May 12th, they asked. May 25th, he responded. May 31st, they respond, renewing their subpoena. June 9th, Mr. Jordan sent another letter, and no response after the last letter from Mr. Jordan. So the chairman was very responsive.
Will the gentleman yield to
I will not
answer whether he actually testified?
It's my time.
Okay. Did he testify?
It's my time. Freedom of speech is among the most important rights guaranteed to every American. Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter last year served to revitalize this fundamental freedom in the digital age. Now, in the wake of this acquisition, the FTC engaged in an aggressive campaign to harass Twitter and deluge it with demands about its personnel decisions in each of the company's departments. Every internal communication relating to Elon Musk and even Twitter's interactions with journalists. These demands have no basis in the FTC's statutory mission and appear to be the result of partisan pressure to target Twitter and silence Musk. The FTC is currently imposed some demands on Twitter that had no rational basis in user privacy. There was no logical reason, for example, why the FTC needed to know the identities of journalists engaging with Twitter. There was no logical reason why the FTC, on the basis of user privacy, needed to analyze all of Twitter's personnel decisions. And there was no logical reason why the FTC needed every single internal Twitter communication about Elon Musk. The strong inference from these facts is that Twitter's rediscovered focus on free speech is being met with politically motivated attempts to thwart Elon Musk's goals. The FTC's demands did not occur in a vacuum. They appear to be the result of loud voices on the left, including elected officials, urging the federal government to intervene in Musk's acquisition and management of the company. The FTC's harassment of Twitter is likely due to one fact: Musk's self-described absolutist commitment to free expression in the digital town square. So, Director Bumpus, on March 10th, 2023, Chairman Jordan sent a letter seeking information and documents about the FTC's investigation of their harassment of Elon Musk's Twitter. It demanded that Twitter identify all journalists and other members of the media to whom Twitter has granted any type of access to the company's internal communications, e.g. Slack, emails, resources, internal documents, and/or files since October 27, 2022. Your response, the FTC's response, was not timely and only barely responsive to the inquiry, with no indication when additional information would be provided. As the Select Subcommittee's report states, its approach appears to be the result of partisan pressure to target Twitter and silence Musk. When does the FTC expect to provide the information and documents requested in the March 10th, 2023 letter?
Congressman, as you noted, we provided a narrative response to the question posed earlier this week. We have reached out to staff. We would like to be responsive, and we look forward to connecting soon with the committee to talk about next steps.
It's well over 2 weeks since the FTC received Chairman Jordan's inquiry, and the FTC barely responded on substance to the inquiry. Can you tell me what accounted for the delay?
Congressman, we want to be responsive to your request. The Commission, while I cannot talk about non-public investigations, has confirmed that it is investigating compliance by Twitter with a consent order related to data security and privacy. And we look forward to continuing to engage with this committee to get you responsive documents.
All right, we asked you to testify today, and you initially responded that you would not and requested that the executive director testify. But can you tell me Are there topics or subjects about which you've been instructed or encouraged not to testify? And if so, what topics and who gave those instructions?
Not at all, Mr. Chairman. I've not been instructed not to testify about anything.
All right. Well, through the Twitter files, Americans are learning more about one of the most significant threats to civil liberties in the modern era. The executive branch's suppression of free speech is a real peril to our republic. And given the gravity of the situation, it was my hope that the FTC would provide the information necessary for this matter. I now yield to the ranking member for 5 minutes.
Thank you. And Chairman, what's interesting to me is